Hey everyone, and welcome to another All History video. Today I'm going to talk about what if America had never formed. For the divergent point of this alternate history, let's say after the failures of the Articles of Confederation, something happens to George Washington to where he does not become the President of the United States. Whether death due to illness or wishing to retire to his country or state, whatever that may be, the country is left with a leadership vacuum and splits into three countries. In the north, the Republic of New England formed with their capital around Boston, focusing largely on trade with Europe and its fishing industries. In the center, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania formed the new United States of America, with more of a focus on industry and Jeffersonian ideas. In the south, everything from Maryland to Georgia would form a new republic called the Dixie Republic. They would focus largely on cash crops grown from large slave plantations and subsistence farming for the rural poor whites. The new U.S. would expand westward, much like the Dixie Republic, using the Ohio River as a natural border until the Mississippi River was reached. New England, not having anywhere to expand, reaches out to Britain and is all but named reincorporated back into the British Empire, gaining the maritime provinces of Canada in exchange for more British control over the fishing, naval docking rights, and trade relations. The North and the South would be in something of a 1700s Cold War, knowing that if war broke out between the two of them, it would weaken both of them, causing the European powers to push into the continent. This armistice would come to a head when France was looking to offload the Louisiana Territory. Both the North and the South, understanding the importance of the Louisiana Territory and its adjacent Mississippi River, with both sides chomping at the bits to get this, France would most likely sell it to the North, as the South had a stronger tie to Britain with their cotton trade, and the North had more money to spend, so France would end up selling the Louisiana Territory to the new United States of America. With the failed acquisition of Louisiana, there would be a lot of internal upheaval at having lost such a valuable port and some territories as well, just because the government wanted to save a few dollars. Or at least this is how the public would view it. All of this internal upheaval would eventually lead to a change in the government, backed by the British, hoping to gain a better ally and weakening the Americas by now having an ally on the South with the Dixie Republic and in the North with Canada and New England. The War of 1812 would be much different than our timeline, with the South, backed by the British, marching on the northern capital of Philadelphia, razing the city to the ground. The South, while being able to strike first, were pushed back to Maryland, where the war would largely stalemate. The North was not able to push farther south due to fears of invasions from New England or Canada, and the South unable to push back due to the lack of manpower. In the end, nothing would happen in terms of land, but Britain had got what it wanted. It weakened the North American continent, while also proving that their southern ally could do nothing without their support. The South, feeling as though they won the war, would have vastly inflated sense of self-worth, celebrating and sparking minor developments in the expansion of southern plantations by taking out loans from the British. The North, on the other hand, would have their psyche shaken to its core. Their capital had just been burnt to the ground in retaliation for justified expansion into the continent. This would lead to some of the government believing the land they had just annexed was so valuable that they would want to develop it even further than they had in our timeline. This idea then would lead to the moving of the capital from Philadelphia to St. Louis in order to more properly govern these new territories. This would lead to the North having greater interest in westward expansion and having a larger influx of immigrants. They would get their immigration from the Great European Migration of the 1840s, with Germans and Scandinavians settling in the Great Lakes and Great Plains regions, helping to industrialize the nation by building railroads and setting up small factories. The South would also see some immigration. This would mostly come from Ireland after the potato famine, but with the South being less industrialized, many of these new Irish immigrants would be forced to work in the cities, getting mainly menial labor jobs just to get by. Soon, all of this new manpower would be put to work with the Texas Revolution. The North, looking to expand deeper into the continent, would back the rebels of the Texan independence movement, both to expand their own country and to block the South from expanding deeper into the region. The South, with the backing from Britain, would form an alliance with Mexico to surround the Americans in the Southwest, the Southeast, and the North. With battle lines drawn and alliances made, the long-thought peaceful continent of North America was in for a long and bloody war. Sorry to end off on a cliffhanger, but that is all I have for you today, and if you enjoyed this video, please like this video and share it with a friend. I was spending a lot of time making these, and I really enjoyed that, and I hope you were enjoying watching these. And I will see you all next week.